The latest controversy surrounding Prince Harry has once again highlighted the growing chasm between his royal past and his self-imposed exile. During a recent appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, British singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran reportedly shot down Harry's alleged request to be addressed as His Royal Highness HRH. With an amused smirk, Sheeran allegedly quipped, "You're not HRH, Harry." Live with it. The audience erupted in laughter, but behind the lighthearted moment lay a brutal truth. Harry's insistence on clinging to a title that no longer belongs to him is not just embarrassing, it's downright delusional. This moment serves as yet another reminder of Harry's relentless identity crisis. He has spent years publicly denouncing the monarchy, portraying himself as a victim of an institution that, in his own words, trapped him. And yet, despite walking away from royal duties, securing lucrative media deals, and settling into a luxurious life in California, he still desperately craves the prestige that comes with being a prince. The irony is almost comical. Harry wants the perks of royalty without the responsibility. But the world, as Ed Sheeran reminded him, is no longer willing to entertain the fantasy. The problem with Harry isn't just his desire to be recognized as a royal while simultaneously rejecting the very institution that made him famous. It's his sheer hypocrisy. When he and Meghan Markle announced their departure from royal duties in 2020, they insisted they wanted privacy and independence. Yet, rather than retreat into a quiet life, they launched an all-out media assault on the royal family. From their Oprah interview to their Netflix documentary and Harry's memoir Spare, the couple has monetized their grievances, all while expecting the public to sympathize with their supposed struggles. In Spare, Harry complained about everything from William's alleged bullying to how many bedrooms he was given in royal residences. The book reads less like an introspective memoir and more like a petulant teenager's diary filled with petty gripes against his own family, and yet, despite his complaints about royal life, Harry has never fully let go of his royal identity. He may have been stripped of his HRH status, but that hasn't stopped him from using Prince and Duke of Sussex on every platform that benefits him. His recent legal battle in the UK, where he fought for the right to taxpayer-funded security, proves that he still believes he's entitled to special treatment despite walking away from royal responsibilities. When Harry and Meghan left the UK, they envisioned themselves as global influencers, part royalty, part Hollywood elite. But outside the protective bubble of the monarchy, their star power has rapidly diminished. Yes, they secured multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, but those partnerships have largely fallen flat. Their Netflix docuseries may have drawn initial interest. The latest controversy surrounding Prince Harry has once again highlighted the growing chasm between his royal past and his self-imposed exile. During a recent appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, British singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran reported, but it was a one-time spectacle. Their Spotify contract ended prematurely, with executives reportedly unimpressed by Meghan's podcast and one even calling them grifters. Meanwhile, Harry's solo projects, such as his Apple TV Plus mental health series, have failed to generate any real buzz. Hollywood has already moved on. Unlike true A-list celebrities who maintain relevance through talent and work ethic, Harry and Meghan's entire brand revolves around their grievances. But with each passing year, their sob story becomes less compelling. One of the most telling aspects of Harry's downfall is how little his departure has actually impacted the royal family. When he and Meghan first stepped back, there was speculation that the monarchy would struggle without their modern touch. Yet, years later, the institution remains strong. King Charles has ascended the throne, Prince William and Kate Middleton continue to grow in popularity, and Queen Camilla has found public acceptance. Meanwhile, Harry has increasingly become an outsider, watching from the sidelines as his relevance fades. His attempts to maintain royal status, whether it's his insistence on being addressed as a prince or his demands for royal security, only reinforce the reality that he is no longer part of the firm. The British public has moved on. The royal family has moved on. The only person still clinging to the past is Harry himself. Ed Sheeran's supposed remark on The Tonight Show was more than just a passing joke. It was a reflection of how the world now views Prince Harry. He is no longer HRH. He is no longer an active royal. He is, at best, a former prince trying to stay relevant in an industry that values status over substance. If Harry truly wants to carve out a new identity, he needs to stop chasing the remnants of his royal past. The titles, the security, the prestige, they're gone. And no amount of Hollywood networking or tell-all interviews will bring them back. The world doesn't owe Harry a royal welcome anymore. He wanted freedom and he got it. Now, it's time he learns how to live without the crown, but learning to live without the crown seems to be Harry's greatest struggle. Despite everything, his self-exile, his repeated criticisms of the monarchy, and his insistence that he's happier in America, he can't seem to detach himself from the royal status that once defined him. His ongoing battles for security privileges, his expectation to be treated with the same reverence as working royals, and his constant references to his past only highlight his inability to move forward. Even in the US, where celebrity status is built on reinvention, Harry remains trapped in his victim narrative. Instead of carving out a legacy through meaningful work, he continues to exploit his royal connections while simultaneously attacking them. But the public is growing weary. What once seemed like a bold stand for independence now appears to be a calculated, self-serving pursuit of fame. But it was a one-time spectacle. Their Spotify contract ended prematurely, with executives reportedly unimpressed by Meghan's podcast and one even calling them grifters. Meanwhile, Harry's solo projects, such as his Apple TV Plus mental health series, have failed to generate any. Yet letting go of the past is precisely what Harry refuses to do. Instead of forging a new path based on merit, he continuously revisits his grievances, expecting sympathy from a public that has long moved on. His insistence on royal treatment without royal duty only reinforces the perception that he wants privilege without responsibility. Ed Sheeran's offhand remark wasn't just a joke, it was a reflection of how the world now perceives Harry. Even among celebrities, where status is everything, his attempts to demand deference fall flat. Hollywood thrives on reinvention, yet Harry remains stuck in the role of the exiled prince. Yet letting go of the past is precisely what Harry refuses to do. Instead of forging a new path based on merit, he continuously revisits his grievances, expecting sympathy from a public that has long